probably the biggest thing right now is that, of course, they just dropped the nominations for the Game Awards. So we're going to look at all of that. We're going to check it all out. Booyah. It's going to be cool. It's going to be really cool. How am I feeling about the nominations? Overall, there's like a few that I'm like, But overall, I mean, I think they all make sense. As I've said for like this whole year, this is just such a jam-packed year of great games that anybody falling off the list, you know, of like Game of the Year nominations, it's like, you know what? It's been so good that you can make an argument for why it would fall off the list. Like for this Game of the Year nominations, we've got Expedition 33, makes sense. Death Stranding 2, it's a Jeff Keighley show. I don't think anybody's surprised there. Donkey Kong Bonanza, I have no idea what to think about that one. Hades 2.
Donated $10
okay.
through Super
Silksong,
Chat.
yeah.
What are the
KCD,
chances that Jeff personally told Kojima that he saved a spot for Death Stranding 2?
Here's the deal. I don't think on paper Jeff has that kind of unilateral power, but it does create a conflict of interest when everybody knows how close they are for him to be like judging this type of thing. It's like if Jeff were like close personal friends with Neil Druckmann or close friends with Todd Howard, and then one of their games comes out and is in the rotation for nominations and winning. Like, it just creates a conflict of interest, which is why Jeff has set it up so there is a distinguishing of his role versus like the jury. But I think it could be made clearer. My understanding is that Jeff is one vote of many that determines who's on this list. That's my understanding. So I don't think he can like brute force it. We'll meme and joke about it that, oh yeah, well, Jeff's buddy with Kojima. But, you know, in actuality, I don't think he's like using whiteout to remove Split Fiction to put Death Stranding 2 in there. I just think that this is where the journalists went. Because you have to remember, most of the people that are voting on this to get this list made are like journalists for Games Radar, IGN, Eurogamer, VGC. I think Skill Up is one of the guys. Like they have a jury that is selecting this and voting on it. And so if you pause and you think, what kind of games do those types of people love? Then it starts to click. You know, it's why it makes sense that like Silksong is on here. It's really popular among like gaming journalists. Same with Donkey Kong, really popular among gaming journalists. And to their credit, they still nominated Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which I'm impressed by, because I half expected them to skip over it because they don't like the some of the founders or the founder of Warhorse. A lot of the journalists throw fits over him. So, but overall, I mean, I think it's just been a tremendous year. And I think last year, if you were to look forward, we all assumed it would be like Ghost of Yotei, Silksong if it launched, Death Stranding 2, people thought was going to be a slam dunk. Monster Hunter, a lot of people assumed that would be a Game of the Year contender, and it's like fallen off completely. So it's been a surprising year, but a surprisingly good year, and I'll take it. But what do you guys think? I'm going to read through the chat here in a second. What do you guys think of the nominations? What do you think? Let's start with Game of the Year first. What do you think of this? What do you think of all of this? I want to know. Let's see. And then Resident Azevil. Thank you. Thank you for the 5. Are there any games that were not nominated for certain categories / any games that weren't nominated, any that were or weren't, that you wish got recognition? We'll look at it. I think Split Fiction is one where, like, honestly, Split Fiction, I think, deserved a little bit more credit than it got personally, but you know, it was a very competitive year, so I get it. But like, the most nominated games were Expedition 33, Ghost of Yotei has 7 nominations, Death Stranding 2 has 7 nominations, Silksong with 5, Split Fiction with 4, to their credit. Sorry, this is just funny. But I think personally, I don't dislike Death Stranding 2, but I personally feel that it is, I don't want to say it's not as good as the first game, but man, it doesn't hit the same way. It just doesn't. Even among Death Stranding fans, I think most people are like, yeah, I mean, it kind of turned into like a UPS delivery simulator, literally. The first game was a hiking simulator, and that's kind of what I liked about it. The second game is literally driving trucks and delivering massive cargo, and to accommodate the trucks, and cars and vehicles in general, they ended up streamlining a lot of the missions and orders, and it just kind of killed the vibe personally for me. Like, it just killed the vibe. Amazon Sim, yeah. Donkey Kong, like I said, I don't even know what to think about that one. What was Hades 2? I have a Hades 2. I just got it on my Steam Deck and ROG Ally, and that's on my playlist. I've put some time into it, but I want to like actually sit down and put like 10 hours into it straight. Let's see, Silksong, obviously. Ghost of Yote, this one also very well done. It just feels like these two games, where did they go? These two games are good, but they just, man, they suffer from sequelitis, you know, like they're just like refinements of the first game. They're better mechanically than the first games, but they just don't hit the same way as the first games for me. Like Ghost of Tsushima, if I had to pick, like, maybe this is the way, if I had to pick one game to take with me onto a deserted island for 6 months, and that's like all I can play, it's the most video gamer prompt ever. You're on a deserted island. What video game do you bring? But if I had to pick one video game, I probably would put Ghost of Tsushima over Ghost of Yote, and I'd probably put Death Stranding 1 over Death Stranding 2, personally. Maybe I'm just a boomer. Who knows? You know, if I had to pick between the first game or the second game, I'd probably go with the first one. Whereas like Hades 2, yeah, I go with the second game. Silksong as well. I think a lot of people would pick Silksong over Hollow Knight. Well, actually, maybe I shouldn't say that, because a buddy of mine, the way he described his time with Silksong was, he's like, I don't think I've played a game that makes me as miserable as Silksong. It's like I play it and I just get angry and upset. I was like, yeah, I kind of I can understand that feeling. You know, I can understand that feeling. Split Fiction, very, very good, but this I think was a victim of this year's stacked lineup more than anything. It's like, it's very good, but it's just like when you're going up against Expedition and you're going up against games like K-City 2, like it's just hard to land on Split Fiction. Like, it's a good game. I'm really glad I played it, had a really good time. Personally, I prefer It Takes Two more. I just like that story and the characters more. The elephant scene will always be goated, but with Split Fiction, it absolutely deserves recognition. And again, the idea that Split Fiction, one of the highest rated and reviewed games of the year, it came from EA. Let that settle in. Blueprints is also a victim, says Silver Kitten. Yeah, Blueprints is probably the one that got snubbed the hardest. And I think it's just, frankly, that it's a very niche game. It's just a niche game. Like, you probably, the stats are pretty clear. The majority of you guys out there have not played it. It's a very niche game. But it has a 92 on Metacritic. It is one of the most critically acclaimed games of the last like 5 years. 92. And it's tough. It's like a puzzle game, but it's a roguelike. It's very weird. And it's unlike anything you've probably ever played. But because of that, because it's a very niche game, not many people play it. And you remember, the people that get to choose nominations and stuff are the ones, the journalists who are playing a lot of stuff. And they also tend to play a lot of the big popular stuff, the AAA stuff. So an indie game like a Blueprints can fall off pretty easily and quickly. So this is probably the one that got shafted the worst out of all of the like top games. There's others that have been brought up, like, you know, Dispatcher, Arc Raiders. Some people I think expected a lot more. Jesus Christ. Expedition 33 on the indie game category. Hydrogen Bomb versus Coughing Baby. I mean, I do think Expedition 33 is probably going to clean up there. I think that's probably safe to say. I'm sorry, I was not ready for that meme. Oh my God, come on! The Game Awards website is struggling right now. Struggling. I want to pull up the whole thing. I want to pull it all up. Donkey Kong over Ghost of Yote is crazy. Honest question: those of you out there who have played Ghost, not Ghost. Well, I guess Ghost 2, but those of you who have played Donkey Kong, where does it land for you? Is it as good as the journos made it out to be? Because it's from the same team that did Super Mario Odyssey, and I'm gonna trigger some of you right now. I thought Super Mario Odyssey was okay. Like, I thought it was fine or even good. I'd say it's good. I did not understand the 10 out of 10 for Super Mario Odyssey. I just didn't get it. Okay. I understand if you need to unsubscribe. I understand. I get it. But it didn't land for me. Is Donkey Kong like a similar vibe? Because I've seen some people say that it's amazing and it's fantastic, but then other people are like, it's a fetch quest game. That's kind of what they do. Let's see. Nintendo hype. Bonanza is so ass. The gameplay's crisp. I don't know anyone with Switch 2. It's just there to keep Nintendo fans happy. It's all right, but Nintendo hype. I'm on a delay to capture stream clip, but Blueprints is really boring, says Jacob. Jacob, it's just because apparently you have a problem with the puzzles. Frankly, that seems to be your problem. That's one of those games. Silk Song is a victim of it too, where like if you say you don't like some aspect of it, or like you fell off it was boring or whatever, they just say, well, it's a skill issue. Like my friend who played Silk Song and was like, it makes me miserable and I hate my life when I'm playing it because it's so hard. A lot of people will be like, well, skill issue. Seems like you suck. That's a you problem. And it is a you problem, but it's also like, yeah, well, if a game makes you miserable, maybe you shouldn't play it. Let's see, Krieg Zeus, who actually plays Nintendo. I do think there is a certain element of Nintendoisms. Like, who was it? It was that guy. It was that guy who faked the Nintendo leaks, I think. What is his name? You know the YouTuber I'm talking about? He faked the Nintendo leaks and then like tried to spin it as a grand experiment of how beat 'em ups. That's what it was. I gotta find the clip because I remember he's a Nintendo focused guy and he was saying that like no good games launched this year, and it was just like, what are you talking about? I gotta find the original clip though, because I don't want to take anybody out of context, and if I'm misremembering it, yeah, I don't see it. Damn it. But I do think Nintendo players, a lot of Nintendo focused channels and YouTubers and streamers and just players in general, they tend to be isolated pretty hard from the rest of the environment, where if you're on Nintendo's platform and that's where you mainly hang out, you are not going to be playing a lot of like the big popular third-party games. Like you're not playing Expedition 33, you're not playing KCD 2. I don't think any of those have Switch 2 ports yet, at least. So like you tend to be very, very isolated. And so for you, maybe a Donkey Kong is your game of the year, but there's so much more than just what's first party Nintendo, you know? If it isn't on Steam, it doesn't exist. Well, that's the other side of it, where like if you're a PC exclusive player, then you might not have played like a Ghost of Yote, but there's still like the majority of the games that you're playing are big ones from this year. The Game Awards. So Game of the Year, as we went through: Clear Obscure Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Silk Song, and KCD 2. I think it is surprising to see like Donkey Kong in here instead of a Ghost of Yote or a Split Fiction. I think Split Fiction specifically probably deserves to be on here somewhere. But other than that, I think all of these kind of make sense. Personal pick, I'm still going back and forth between Expedition 33 and KCD 2. KCD 2's DLC has done a lot for the game as well, especially the Smithy DLC, but I mean, they're both just so good. They're very good in different ways, but profound ways. Like the music alone in Clair Obscur is so freaking good. I cannot tell you the last time that I have played like a video game soundtrack unironically in the car, like while just driving. But I will play songs from Clair Obscur regularly because the music is just so good. Oh, it's so good. So good. Alex, thank you. Luke, do you think Expedition 33 will grab all of their nominations? And if so, would it be healthy for the industry? I mean, I think it'd be exciting. I don't know about healthy or unhealthy. I think if Clair Obscur wins Game of the Year, I think it's going to sweep everything else. Because I think Clair Obscur is one of those games where if it's your favorite game of the year, it's like one of your favorite games of the decade, you know? And that means all of those people on the jury that are checking the boxes for what is your favorite game in this category? What's your favorite game in this category? I think they're all marking Expedition 33 across the board. Expedition 33 is not an indie game. Why is it on as their debut indie game? There's a couple, I think, was it last year? or 2 years ago. I think it was Liza P. Like Liza P was being published by, I think it was Nexon, if I recall correctly. And Nexon is like a big publisher. And so it was like, are they really indie? The indie category gets messy. Let's just do this. Best performance, 57.
Ben Starr for Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Charlie Cox for Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Erika Ishii for Ghost of Yote.
Personally, no shade. I'm realizing there's no way to say this without it sounding like shade.
Jennifer English for Claire Obscure
Jennifer English
Expedition
totally makes
33.
sense. She's phenomenal in that.
Konatsu Kato for Silent Hill F.
Konatsu Kato.
And Troy Baker for Indiana Jones.
This one's very, very fair. The fact Andy Serkis isn't nominated is crazy. Also, the fact that Tom McKay isn't nominated for Henry is also wild. I'm sure that that Erica is a very nice person, and I think she did a great job as Atsu, but Henry, I mean, come on. He's feeling quite hungry. Jesus Christ be praised. I mean, come on. So what's a memorable line from Erica's delivery in Ghost? I don't know, that could be a writing thing, but I don't know. But I will forever. Just the other day I made a comment while we were out and about at a restaurant, and I made a comment while I was sitting there with my wife, and I just went, feeling quite hungry. And Nikki looked at me like I was crazy. What? She doesn't appreciate me, is basically what I'm saying. But Troy Baker, to his credit, fantastic as Troy Baker. Aaron Paul, Aaron Paul could easily have been on here too, though. But was Dispatch, was it past the cutoff? Was it past the cutoff for some of that stuff? I don't know. Easily he could have been there too. Easily.
In the Great Circle.
But yeah, Troy Baker.
Ongoing game.
It's like his Indiana Jones imitation is fantastic.
The nominees are Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite,
Ongoing game.
Helldivers 2.
Dude, I like Helldivers, but the game runs like ass now. Like actual ass. I don't know what they did. When it first came out, I didn't have any bugs. I didn't have any issues. It was polished and it was great. But man, it runs like donkey ass right now. It's too bad. They got to fix it up.
Marvel Rivals and
Rivals?
No Man's Sky.
Dude, it's always No Man's Sky. Rivals has been really good. Their drop of content's been crazy. No Man's Sky has also been totally insane. Helldivers, they've done updates, but again, I feel like if you're breaking your own game, that should count for something negative. Rivals, they've done a really good job, and No Man's Sky, either one I think could win it, and I'd be fine.
For Best Mobile Game, the nominees are
WWE Champions,
Destiny Rising, Persona 5 The Phantom X, Sonic Rumble, Uma Masume Pretty Derby, and Wuthering Waves. This year's nominees for Best Art Direction are Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
This one's going to be hard to beat, frankly. The art direction in Claire Obscure is so good.
Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Ghost of Yote, Hades 2, and
yeah, that's a good
Hollow
one.
Knight Silksong.
That's a good one too. I still personally, I think Claire Obscure takes
Score and music leveled up by Spotify.
it. Cancel me all you want. Cancel me. Did you ever see that TikTok of the guy who's just like going into random Call of Duty lobbies and says something totally mundane and is like, cancel me. I don't care. Cancel me. Do whatever you're going to do. That's me taking a very popular opinion. Claire Obscure has the best art direction. Cancel me. I don't care. Yeah. Claire Obscure. Great game. Cancel me. I don't care.
The nominees are Christopher Larkin for Hollow Knight Silksong,
Okay.
Karen Korb for Hades 2,
Okay.
Lorian Testar for Claire Obscure
Claire Obscure. Best music. Cancel me.
Expedition 33, Toma Otoa for Ghost of Yote, and Woodkid and Ludwig Forsell for Death Stranding 2 On the Beach. The best
I mean, come on. Come on. Expedition 33. Easy clap. Easy clap. Cancel me. I don't care. Cancel me.
audio design nominees are Battlefield 6.
Ooh, they do have really good like technical audio design, and that is not an easy game to get it done in too. Like with the destruction physics and everything, having audio be interpretable. To be clear, this does not include RedSec. RedSec's audio is ass, but the base game is very good. Expedition 33 also very well done.
Obscure Expedition 33.
I actually, dude, I did see one guy, I think it was a TikTok or something, where he had replaced all of his phone notifications with Renoir's cane. You know, when he walks in, it's whenever it sits down. And dude, he shows himself like out in public and he has like the volume maxed out. And so he gets a text and it's like so dramatic. It actually kind of made me jealous. I might have to do that myself. But yeah, the sound design is great.
Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, and Silent Hill.
Was Arc Raiders past the cutoff? No, because it's nominated for something. Because it also has fantastic sound design too.
F. Best Adaptation was added to the Game Awards in 2022 to recognize an outstanding show, movie, or other creative work inspired by and based on an established video game world. Here are this year's nominees for Best Adaptation.
Okay.
A Minecraft movie, Devil May
Sorry. Sorry.
Cry, Splinter Cell Deathwatch, The Last of Us Season 2.
He said the thing. He made me do this. I'm gonna be a dad. Hey, you know what? Easy clap. It has to win. There you go.
And Until Dawn. For Best Narrative, the outstanding nominees are...
Wait, but like honest question. Which of these win, man? Minecraft movie? I will say, I don't think it was a movie made for me, but I will say the young tweens or whatever that went to see it seemed to have a great time with the chicken jockey stuff. I'm sure we've all seen the clips of like the kids throwing popcorn and like they had a great time. They had a great time. So maybe it does deserve the adaptation award because they clearly adapted it well enough that the like core fans enjoyed it. So that should count for something. Where's the Fallout show? That was last year, dude. That was last year, right? I think it was April of last year, or I think it was last year. Season 2 comes out this year, but after the cutoff. So you can't really nominate Best Adaptation for something that hasn't released yet, you know? Doesn't really work that way. They're like, we're just going to get ahead of the curve and give Game of the Year to GTA 6. Just get ahead of the curve. Yeah. Cancel me. I don't care. Yeah, cancel me.
Minecraft movie, Devil May Cry, Splinter Cell Deathwatch, The Last of Us Season 2.
I'm sorry. The Last of Us Season 2 has got to be studied. It's like Witcher Netflix levels of what are we doing? What are we doing? It really is heartbreaking because the first season was so good. And then I feel like the second season is just one gigantic cluster. Like it's just tonally all over the place. That's my problem. If you're going to change characters and change the story, go one direction, but stick to it. The problem is like within The Last of Us Part 2 or Season 2, it feels like each episode director had a different idea of who the characters should be and what they were doing, and it just didn't work. It didn't work. And some of the decisions, whether they're acting decisions or the writing direction decisions, the ways that they changed, like Ellie, for example, totally kills the tension. And like the big moment with Mel and everything, they turn into an accident. It's just across the board. It's yeah. Anyway,
Until Dawn.
Continuing, I could ramble about that for hours, as I have. You guys know all too well.
Narrative, the outstanding nominees
Okay, best narrative. I don't actually know who was nominated for this. I'm gonna guess it's Expedition. I hope it's KCD2. I'm guessing they nominated Death Stranding for some reason. Hades 2, and what would be a fourth nominee? Ghost of Yotei they probably nominated. And what would be number 6? Number 6. Some small indie game I haven't heard of.
Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2,
Yep.
On the Beach, Ghost of Yotei,
Dude, I'm so
Kingdom
good.
Come
Dude, I'm
Deliverance
so
2,
good.
and Silent Hill.
Okay, not really an indie game. Okay. These are fair. Death Stranding 2, personally, I feel like if people have to Google what the story is about after playing it, it probably is not. Like, I love Kojima for broad strokes ideas. My frustration is that he, in an attempt to dazzle us with his brilliance, he tends to baffle us with bullshit. And I feel like there's a difference between mystery and intrigue and confusion and doubt. And I feel like often a lot of his stories are filled with just like the weirdest thing he can think of. and then that's presented as though it's supposed to be profound when it really is just kind of crazy and weird, you know? And that can still be entertaining, but it doesn't make necessarily for a well communicated or efficiently communicated story. You know, I was talking to a buddy of mine who played Death Stranding 2 as well, and he was like, I still am not really sure what the game's about. He's like, I know the, like, all the stuff with Lou and like, of course, broad strokes, but like the minutia, he's like, it's kind of a blur, which fair.
F.
Counterpoint Fanning's feet. Mister, how dare you? I mean, I'm sure Kojima agrees with you, but like, come on. Come on. Continuing.
Best community support celebrates game developers who continually and transparently engage, support, and respond to their players.
Okay.
This year's nominees are Baldur's Gate.
Oh, I guess I should go back just retroactively. Having played Dispatch, I would absolutely put Dispatch in the best narrative category. I'd personally swap out either Silent Hill or Death Stranding for that. And I would also personally, I might even toss in Split Fiction instead of Silent Hill, personally. Cancel me. Do what you're gonna do.
3. Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky.
Yeah, I mean,
Your
all of those are fair.
nominees for Games for Impact are
I'm sorry, this Games for Impact, I understand what they're trying to do with the category. They're trying to celebrate games that aren't necessarily good, they're important. I get that. But I feel like if a game has impact, it's going to be nominated for like Game of the Year, you know? Like the game with the most impact is probably the one that's winning Game of the Year. So as a category, it just seems like this, like, let's pat ourselves on the back for recognizing these games nobody's ever heard of. It's just kind of weird.
Consume Me, Despelote.
Hold on. I kind of want to look these up. Okay, so this one was Consume Me. Has anybody in chat played this game? Like literally anybody in chat? I want to know. Because maybe these are really good and I just haven't heard of them. Did you feel stupid, fat, lazy, and ugly in high school? Well, I did, but at least I made a life simulation about it. I mean, I would just say if I wanted to feel fat and lazy, I would just hang out, but that's just me, I guess. Let's what was the other one? Games for Impact. I actually skipped
Games for Impact are
okay.
Consume Me,
Despelote, a slice of life adventure about childhood and the magical grip soccer held over the people of Quito, Ecuador in 2001. This is a bitrate's worst nightmare. Again, I want to be clear. They've made a video game. That's more than I've ever done, and that deserves credit. They're more talented than me. Nobody's doubting that.
Despelote, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage,
Lost Records, I've heard of that one. South of Midnight, but like, I guess
South
what's
of
the
Midnight,
impact?
and Wonderstop.
Wonderstop is unironically kind of fun. If you haven't tried that one, it's a good like Steam Deck game where you like make tea and stuff. It's very cute. Show like the, yeah, here. It's very cute. It's very cute. It's a vibe. It's a good relaxation game. So this one I think is like, I've heard of that one. But again, I guess I just wonder what impact means. Cause like, what's the impact of like South of Midnight or Lost Records? You know, like, what are we doing? Did I complete Dispatch? Hell yeah, I did. Freaking love it. I'd say, I would argue that like games with impact, a game that had a lot of impact would be like an Expedition 33, showing that a small team, when they escape corporate oppression, they can get out there and make something phenomenal. Or a game like Dispatch. That is a formula of game that used to be prevalent and common back in like 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14. It used to be really, really popular. And then Telltale collapsed and everybody thought the episodic narrative choose your own adventure game was kind of dead. But then they just showed, no, it's very much live. You can do it well, modernize it, and people still want it. I'd say that's a pretty big impact, but I don't think we're using the same definition. Like I said, usually games for impact, it just kind of turns into like games you haven't heard of that make the Game Awards feel like they're supporting important games. It's not good. It's important.
Records Bloom and Rage, South of
Which, like, who cares? It's an award at a game show, but it is just funny to me that they still have these categories and everybody's like, okay.
Midnight and Wonder Stop.
Oh, my lungs.
The category of Best Multiplayer, the nominees are Arc Raiders.
Fair. I'm sure Shroud is very happy to see this. And I'm happy to see it too. Arc Raiders genuinely is fantastic. It's still reaching new player count peaks. Like 2 weeks after launch. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. And talk about games for impact. This also, dude, this game is going head to head with Call of Duty on Steam. It's actually outperforming Call of Duty on Steam. I get it. Oh, Luke, well, it's also on Game Pass and it's also on all these other services like Battle.net. Sure. Steam is the largest marketplace on all of PC gaming. It's like the big hub. And I'm sorry, I thought Call of Duty was supposed to be like the biggest game ever. Like every year. And Arc Raiders just casually is like competing with it. It's crazy. Arc Raiders very much deserves a lot of credit, and I'm glad it's getting nominated. And I personally expect it to win.
Battlefield 6, Elden Ring Night Reign, Peak, and Split Fiction.
I guess Split Fiction is technically multiplayer. But I think Arc Raiders takes it. Personally, cancel me. I don't care. Cancel me.
Best Independent.
Night Rain. I know a lot of people who like Night Rain. Love it. I actually have just recently tried for the first time Elden Ring Seamless Co-op with my buddy Corey. And dude, it's fire. It's fire. The Seamless Co-op mod, it works really well. And it like allows each player to have their own Estus, their own build. Everything is unique for each player, their own runes, everything. It's very, very good. Night Rain is similar to that, but dude, if you are like, I like Night Rain, but I specifically love the exploration and excitement of like discovery in Elden Ring. Get a buddy, install the Seamless Co-op mod for Elden Ring on PC. Dude, it's awesome. It's awesome and free if you already own Elden Ring. Recommend it.
Independent Game celebrates games with a high degree of risk tolerance, produced outside the traditional publisher system. Those nominees are...
See, but even this, okay, so just to understand his definition.
Game celebrates games with a high degree of risk tolerance, produced outside the traditional publisher system.
Is that the definition of an independent game, of indie game? Like risk tolerance?
Those nominees...
I feel like when people hear indie game, they think small studio outside of a major publisher or company. A game with high risk tolerance, if anything, like that would mean that games like, I don't know, really any multiplayer game, like Concord is an indie game. It's like, no, that doesn't seem to fit. It's within a traditional publisher in that case, but like if it was from an outside company but being published by PlayStation, it could still be nominated. Is that what we mean? Like independently funded? Yeah, I think that's also partially what people think. I think so. Ismail, I think this year's awards are very predictable, and I think gamers are going to care more about the new world
Ismail
premieres than the results.
Hamzawi donated 200.
I think that's always true. Like, honestly, the Game Awards, it's mostly about the new reveals and world premiere. So I think that's true. Some years, it's more like a head-to-head, like 2015, The Witcher 3 versus Fallout 4. That's a moment everybody was like tuned in on. Or back in 2022 with like Elden Ring, people were really in for that. Or 2018, Red Dead 2 versus God of War reboot. Those were like big moments. But with this year, I do think there will be a big moment when they announce Game of the Year, because right now it's seemingly, realistically, I think it's between Expedition 33, the Nintendo fanboys with Donkey Kong, and KCD2. I think those are the three. Silksong, maybe to a lesser degree, but I think those are the three big ones like that will be competing for it. I still think Expedition 33 probably is the front runner to win it, maybe at like 65% likelihood, and then there's like 20% of KCD2, and then there's like 15% of other stuff. Hades 2? No, I think Hades 2 is good, but I think like, is it getting anywhere near the buzz from the people that are in the jury? I personally don't think so. I still think all of the attention is centered around Expedition. And again, never doubt the power of Nintendo fanboys. Never doubt the power of it. People who love games like Donkey Kong are probably not playing a lot of games like KCD2 and Expedition 33. They're playing like collectathon platformer things, and they're just very, very different games. Anyway,
Absalom, Ball Pit, Blueprints, Clair Obscure
Okay.
Expedition 33, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong.
maybe I'm just misremembering this, but isn't Hades 2? Who publishes Hades 2? Is it just Supergiant? Yeah, I guess it's Supergiant. I guess because they have such a close relationship with Xbox, or at least have in the past with like the Game Pass integrations, I just assumed that they were a lot bigger, but technically they're self-published. So, okay. And then Expedition 33, that one, ooh, it's 20% off. Wow. That was published by Kepler, and Kepler, oh, they did Cat Quest. I guess they're technically a smaller publisher. Pacific Drive, Sifu, Flintlock, Rematch. So they published a good variety of stuff, I guess. Still, like, they're a larger publisher. So I guess, again, on technicalities, okay. But, you know, it's technicalities. It feels weird. Like, Expedition had a lot of support behind it. It still is a phenomenal triumph, and they deserve all that credit. But I don't think of Expedition 33 in the same way as I think of, like, again, a small indie game.
Best Debut Indie Game recognizes a development team.
Well, Dispatch, again, Scar, Dispatch was past the cutoff, so Dispatch couldn't qualify. It's why Indiana Jones is being nominated for stuff this year, because it was past the cutoff for last year. KCD2 is an indie. I think their publisher is technically considered like big, because their publisher is Deep Silver, and Deep Silver did like Dead Island 2, Metro Exodus, Saints Row, Undisputed, Beyond Contact, Windbound. Like they've done a ton of stuff, like even some pretty big stuff. So I think that they were considered a major publisher, but that's the thing, is like, where's the cutoff? Like, what's a big publisher? What's a small publisher? KCD2 is AA. I think that that's why, like, what people mean when they say AA is that it's not published by Microsoft or PlayStation or Ubisoft or EA. It's not published by one of the big guys, but it's still published and supported by like a larger company. It's not like a team of 12 people working in a basement, which is what I think most people think of when they think of indie. But anyway.
Team that hasn't won a game award before. In fact, these teams published their first game this year.
Debut
The
indie.
nominees are Blueprints,
Yep.
Clair Obscure Expedition 33,
That's fair.
Despilote, Dispatch, and
Wait, so Dispatch was not past the cutoff? So I apologize to everybody who's been watching the stream clip and is like, what the hell is going on? Luke, it's not past the cutoff. Okay, this changes things. Jeffrey, you're going to tell me that Silent Hill F had a more compelling narrative than Dispatch? You're telling me that we could have nominated Aaron Paul for best performance? Jeffrey, now you can cancel me. Officially. That's crazy. I thought this whole time we're going through this whole thing, like, well, that makes sense because Dispatch was past the cutoff. Dude, I did not know that. Okay. You guys should have been making fun of me more in chat about it. Or you're just waiting for the moment where it's revealed. Yeah, Dispatch, I think Dispatch deserves a nomination for best audio design. Personally, the audio design is phenomenal. I think they deserve a nomination for best narrative. I think probably over Silent Hill F or Death Stranding or Ghost of Yotei. Personally, Ghost of Yotei, it is a very, very predictable story. I think every plot twist that came up, I saw coming a mile away, as I think most people did, because they were signaled pretty hardcore. I just think Dispatch is way, way better. Honestly, best score, it could also be nominated, but I could give a little leeway on that. I probably again put it over Ghost of Yotei. Again,
Beard
Yotei I really
donated
like. It's just
36
Dispatch is
Qatari Riyals and
great.
99 dirhams through Super Chat. I still don't know how Mafia the Old Country isn't nominated for anything this year. The game was great.
Yeah, I think honestly, it's just one of those games that's pretty good, pretty damn good. But when you're in a field with very good, you just miss the cutoff, you know? And given its price point, given its development schedule, its development, everything, it's amazing that it turned out as well as it did. And I think it deserves credit for that. But when we're looking at like best narrative, I can understand why it maybe didn't quite get the, meet the muster. When we're talking about best like music, I can understand why it gets kind of edged out by some of this other stuff. Still very good, but it's one of those games that doesn't exist that commonly anymore. Like, it's a solid B- game. And a lot of those games don't end up being successful or working out because they charge $70 for it, and then they're confused when nobody bought it because everything else on the market is like an A- and is just as much or cheaper, But they did a good job of pricing it at 50, so it allowed people to justify going into it, even if it wasn't going to be as good as the masterpieces that were dropping throughout this year. But I think that this is, it still deserves recognition. It just isn't quite on that level, But man, knowing that Dispatch could have been nominated for any of these, like, again, Konatsu did a good job. Erica did a good job. Personally, this is all I can represent is my personal feelings. Personally, I'd put Tom McKay, and I'd put probably Aaron Paul up there. Aaron Paul or Laura Bailey for Invisigal.
I_take_yokes donated $3. Why did the game developer bring a broom to the Game Awards? He wanted to sweep every category.
Okay, that's funny. That's funny. It's stupid, but that was funny. I'll give you that. That was funny. Oh my god. Anyway, Jeffrey, I'm upset about this. I didn't know that Dispatch was qualified to actually be nominated, and now I am triggered. Officially, cancel me. I don't care. So there we go. Yeah, knowing Dispatch was in the running, that now, I mean, retroactively, there's like 3 or 4 categories I would have nominated it for. It really is that good. If you've not played Dispatch, go play Dispatch. All the episodes are out. It's very good. It's very, very good. Continuing.
And Megabonk. For best
Sorry, Jeffrey, what was that? Jeffrey, did you hear that? Just imagine his face. Close your eyes and imagine his face when he says this.
Prince, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Despelote, Dispatch, and Megabonk. For best VR AR game, the nominees are Alien Rogue Incursion, Arcan Age, Ghost Town, Marvel's Deadpool VR, and The Midnight Walk.
Midnight Walk, I can't talk. I've actually not tried that in VR. I've tried it traditionally, but I could see how it could be very good in VR. Very spoopy.
For Content Creator of the Year, the nominees are
Burn Peanut.
Pedro.
I have no idea who that is. Does anybody? Am I not plugged in? I have no idea who that is.
Kai Cenat.
Kai, his recent subathon, I have never seen the internet turn on somebody so quickly as when he was doing the subathon and everybody started calling it Begathon, because it was like, guys, you gotta get me 5 more subs to make the stream last 15 more seconds, and then we'll get a 50 bomb and we'll do this. Like, I would not be surprised if a lot of those subs were gifted either by sponsored partners or literally by like managers and stuff to just keep it going. It was weird. Yeah, a millionaire begging for money. But yeah, there's nothing more cringe than that. I understand it's fun, and to be fair, he does crazy stuff on stream, like invests wildly in his stream. He is not one of those content creators that just sits in his chair reacting to movies and TV shows, like there was one streamer a couple years ago who literally watched an entire season of Hell's Kitchen, and I think they said that for like 35% of his react, he wasn't even sitting in the chair. Which I have not verified that myself, but I buy it. He's not one of those guys, okay? He's doing crazy stuff.
Moist Critical, Sakura Miko.
Dude, I have no idea. Moist Critical, I feel like Moist Critical is that makes sense. He was in a very successful game. He's still putting out stuff that gets seen by a bajillion people a day.
Luna1302 donated 10 euros through Super Chat. Do you think they will push back the nominees announcement later next year with GTA 6 being delayed to late November?
I had not considered that, but they might. I had not thought about that. That's interesting, Lunar. I had not thought about that. But yeah, I think they almost certainly have to push it back far enough to allow GTA 6 to be nominated. Because can you imagine the meltdown if they hold the Game Awards and they can't nominate GTA 6? That would be very, very funny. So yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but I bet they would have to delay it. Good point. Good point.
And the burnt peanut.
The burnt peanut, dude. I've actually seen a lot of clips of this guy. I actually wonder, do I have one I can upload? I might. Because he is legitimately very, very funny.
Donated $10 through Super
He's my
Chat.
favorite.
I love Dispatch, but think this is more of an award show structure issue than voter issue. Nominations likely closed before release of last Dispatch chapters. Oscar nominations are months after cutoff.
Yeah, well, and my curiosity is if they did the nominations, like, did they have everybody vote on the same day? Like, I just wonder how that works. I wonder how that works. Let me show you a clip of Burnt Peanut real quick, just so you understand why he's been nominated. This is him playing Arc Raiders. He's very funny.
No, the time for talk is over. Now is the time for action. George Brothers, take no prisoner, show no mercy, yield none. Get the goop, get the goop.
Okay, wait for it.
Shh, my child. Shh, my child. It's all okay now. Shh, my child. It's all okay now. Shh, it's all okay. Shh, no, I've got something better. Got something better.
What? No, no, no! No!
You're gonna go to a big farm.
No!
You're gonna go to a big farm and all your friends are gonna be there. You're gonna run around forever.
No!
You go to a big farm and it's gonna be big. You can run around as long as you want.
No!
You can run away free forever. All your friends are gonna be there.
Somebody out!
Yeah, he's a vibe. He's a vibe. I recommend it. Go watch Burnt Peanut. He's a good time. He's a good time. Okay, continuing. I also love the picture that they got of him. That's pretty good. Yeah, he's hilarious and blew up this year. He also got nominated for VTuber of the Year on the Streamies. It will be funny to see his reaction. Dude, it's pretty funny. I'd be happy if he won. He's genuinely hilarious. Continuing.
Forward to what's next. And don't worry, we'll have lots of games to announce for you on December 11th. But what's the most anticipated upcoming game?
Witcher 4.
Here are the nominees based on currently announced titles. 007 First
Oh,
Light,
okay.
Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah, okay. Well, I came out swinging with Witcher 4. Yeah, but these all make sense.
Marvel's Wolverine, Resident Evil Requiem, and The Witcher 4.
Yeah, easy
The
clap.
best action adventure.
You're telling me Elder Scrolls 6 is not on the list? Todd? I'm sorry. Toddathy?
Game nominees are
Action
Death Stranding
adventure,
2
okay.
On the Beach, Ghost of Yote, Hollow Knight Silksong, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and Split Fiction.
I guess my brain always goes, well, do you have an adventure? And therefore it's an adventure game. So I'm like, oh, where's Expedition? Where's KCD2? But I understand that they may not fit. They're more RPGs, you know? They're more RPGs, so they probably don't fit in this category. So those are fair.
For best role-playing game, the
Yeah,
jury
buddy.
selected
Lightweight.
Avowed, Clara
I like Avowed when it works and doesn't break my PC. I like Avowed, but this is, you know, that meme we saw earlier where it was like literally Expedition 33 in the indie category and it was Hydrogen Bomb versus Coughing Baby. That's kind of what this feels like. It's just like you're going head to head against Expedition 33 and KCD2, man. That's going to be a tough battle.
Spear Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds.
This is where definitions are important. You know,
And-
like I understand Outer Worlds 2, really? Okay. Good job for Obsidian. 2 RPGs in the same year nominated for best role-playing game. That's pretty poggers. But I mean, I guess they mean that it's kind of like an ARPG, action RPG, where you can choose your build and customize your loadout and your armor and your weapons, and therefore Monster Hunter is basically an ARPG. But to me, it just feels wrong. To me, when I hear role-playing game, I think of like playing a role within a story. So it's like nominating Diablo for best role-playing game. And I'm like, what? What are we doing? What? It just feels off. Feels off, feels off. But I get it. It just feels off. Skill tree equals RPG these days. Yeah, low-key. I think that personally, and it's true of Expedition 33 as well. Like Expedition 33 is not a branching narrative type game. It has a lot of character customization and it's more ARPG than anything else. But I think I would still give this to KCD2. Just as far as role-playing games are concerned, it is one of the most immersive that you'll ever play.
The Outer Worlds 2. In the category of Best Fighting Game, the nominees are 2XKO, Capcom Fighting Collection 2, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, and Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage.
I'm going to need somebody who knows what they're talking about to tell me which of those is best. Have any of you guys seen or played those? Which one is good? I don't do fighting games. I'm not good at them, and because I'm not good at them, I never play any of them, and I never play of them, so I never get good at any of them, so it just kind of spins. Virtua Fighter's good. Virtua Fighter, okay. My community is not big into fighting games, if you can't tell based on the comments.
The nominees for Best Action Game are Battlefield 6,
Cap.
Doom the Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance.
I guess, well, they put Battlefield 6. I'm like, why doesn't Arc Raiders get tossed in here? Because it's also action. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe it's just single player. But Battlefield 6 is multiplayer. So it could also be nominated. I think you'd have to toss Arc Raiders in here. But
Doom the Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4,
I'm surprised to see
and
Doom nominated.
Shinobi Art of Vengeance.
Arc Raiders is a stealth game. If you play it that way. The way I play, it's a lot of action, mainly shoved in my face by arcs, but still, lots of action.
Innovation and accessibility celebrates games that are making our industry available and enjoyable to more people. The nominees for innovation and accessibility are
Assassin's Creed Shadows,
says the pig. I can imagine people getting triggered that it's been nominated for something. It does have a lot of cool accessibility options, to be clear, which is literally what the award is.
Adamfall,
I don't actually know about Adamfall.
Doom the Dark Ages.
They did
EA
have some
Sports
stuff.
FC 26
You can now pay with PayPal or a credit card.
and
Very
Sons of
accessible.
Midnight. Next up, Best Family Game.
Okay.
Nominees are Donkey Kong Bonanza,
Okay.
Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and Split Fiction.
It's gonna be Mario or Mario Kart. I mean, surely. Like, there's no way that it's anything but Mario Kart.
The Best Sim Strategy Game nominees are
Okay.
The Alters,
Oh, dude, The Alters is fire. If you've not played The Alters, you should. It's not that long. It's super. It's hard to even describe, but it is a vibe, man. It's very good, and it's a good handheld game too. Like if you have an ROG Ally or something, Alters is very good.
Final Fantasy Tactics, Ivalice Chronicles, Jurassic World Evolution 3.
I've heard people like
Sid
that.
Meier's Civilization 7.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I've tried Civilization 7. Civ 5 is still better. Go ahead, cancel me. Cancel me. I don't care. Cancel me. I don't care. Do whatever you're gonna do. Do whatever you're gonna do. Civilization 7. It's just like, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just too deep in like old school Civ 5 gameplay. I've played it for so long that there's no way that I'll ever feel good about the newer ones. But dude, Civ 7, there's just so many weird things. Like they got rid of workers. They got rid of a lot of the like diplomacy stuff that used to be in the game. And so now it's just, they dumbed it down. And I think what it is they built it so that it could be later easily ported to like mobile. And so all of the complex UI, all of the navigating menus to do more complicated tasks, all of that has been cut out. It's really annoying. Why not Anno 117? Dude, I would have liked to see Anno there. It's certainly above Civ 7. It's not that like, I love Civ. I understand they are fighting an uphill battle because every time you do any new game, you're going to have to change stuff. Otherwise, it just feels like the same game all over again, which will upset people. So you try to do something different, but everybody's put so many hours into the old game that any change is going to feel bad and icky. So I understand they are fighting an uphill battle with Civ 7. Nobody's denying that. I just personally greatly prefer Civ 5, even still. Civ 6, I think, is a good step. Like, there's reasons to play Civ 6 over Civ 5 for a lot of people, especially in the modern day, because they did improve some stuff. But Civ 7 to me just felt so dumbed down. But anyway, that's just me. Cancel me. Do what you're going to do.
Tempest Rising, and 2 Point Museum. These games are nominated for Best Sports Racing Game. EA Sports FC 26, F1 25, Mario Kart World, Rematch, and Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
Now
And again, it's got to be Mario Kart, like, surely. Rematch. I like Rematch. Rematch is fun. I played it with my brothers, and it was a good time. But it's one of those games, at least for me, you play for like a grand total of 5 hours, then you're like, you know? Sorry, my lungs are rebelling.
Donated $10 through Super Chat. I'm not bothered by things like body A or B, but it's clear that if a game appeals to inclusivity in any way, it's getting nominated for something, whether it's really that good or not.
Is that true though? Because I feel like there's a good number of games. Like, remember they were going after, like, Grums and his crew were going after Monster Hunter World for like a week before they gave up on it, and that ended up selling crazy well, and that's not nominated for anything. You know, it's the question of correlation versus causation, right? I don't know. Maybe it's true. Maybe that's the checklist, but it seems to me more like the most popular pop culture games are the ones that get nominated and win awards over like the niche stuff.
nominees in our 3 esports categories, starting with
Best Esports Game. The nominees are Counter-Strike 2,
Cap.
Dota 2,
Cap.
League of Legends, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, and Valorant.
No way that's a real game. Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Mobile Legends Bang Bang. It's, bro, what? Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Is this like a translation thing where it's like a Chinese game, but translated to English, it's called Bang Bang? Is this, okay. Mobile Legends Bang Bang. I'm out of the loop, man. Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Okay, well, there you go.
The nominees for Best Esports Athlete are Brock, Chovy, Forsaken, Kakaru, Mena RD, and Zaiwu.
It's Mena RD? Menad? Mena RD? Okay. I understand what they do is very impressive, but it always makes me just kind of chuckle when I hear Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Best Esports Athlete.
Chovy, Forsaken,
It's just funny to
Kakaru.
me. Like, I love chess. I love competitive chess. If you called like the grandmasters going up to play in the candidates tournament, if you called them athletes, I think they would even laugh at you too. You know, it'd be like, we're professional chess players. We're very good at what we do. Athletes, really? Okay. You know, it's just funny.
Mena RD, and Zaiwu. And for Best Esports Team, our Special Esports Committee nominated these teams.
Because no one else has any idea what these are.
Gen G League of Legends, NRG Valorant, Team Falcons Dota 2, Team Liquid PH Mobile Legends Bang Bang, and Team Vitality.
Is that a chemistry joke?
Okay, we're almost
Team
done,
Liquid
but there are
PH?
still 2 very important categories to go. First, Best Game Direction recognizes outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design.
This one legitimately is one of my favorite categories, just because I think it's important to recognize very, very, well, visionaries, people who did things even when everybody else was like, that's not going to work. And I love the idea that there are some games that don't make sense, but that end up being fantastic. You know, like I've said this before. We just said it the other day about Red Dead 2. Like, you're talking about a game where you're playing as a cowboy in a vast open world. Things are very slow. There is technically fast travel in the game, but it's like very rarely used. A lot of people don't even realize there was fast travel because they never used it. So it's a very slow moving, immersive sandbox game. And then halfway through you get tuberculosis and then your character dies. It's not like that. It's a crazy idea for a game because on paper it shouldn't work. Like, the meta of open world adventure games doesn't really follow in that vein, you know, but it ended up working phenomenally well. Same thing with like KCD2, an immersive medieval RPG where like NPCs react to you poorly if you haven't bathed long enough, and then you can starve to death, and you can also overeat. You get plastered drunk. If you commit enough crimes, they'll just execute you in the streets. It's like very, very crazy. Like, but it works. It works. Dude, spoilers. Bro, it's at this point almost like we're going on 8 years old. I feel like it's fair. If you don't know about Red Dead 2 at this point, you don't deserve to know about it, you know. Unless you're like 4 years old.
Nominees are Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Yeah, that one, I think especially, that took vision. That took vision. And it's also a really cool combination of a lot of old school design philosophies from like 90s RPGs that have since been forgotten, like the overworld that's very, very rarely used in RPGs nowadays, but they used it in this and it works really well. They also, you know, of course, combine turn-based with real-time parrying and stuff straight out of Sekiro. Very, very good. I mean, it's just a lot of really clever ideas that all meld together perfectly. It's really well done.
Death Stranding 2.
Death Stranding 2, I actually would say I actively dislike the direction in this one, because I feel like some of the most basic directorial choices, like the deliveries that center around vehicles, actively make the game significantly worse than the game we already got, which was like the template for this one. So I feel like the changes made in Death Stranding 2 actually made it worse than the first game in certain ways. So I disagree with this one personally.
On the Beach. Ghost of Yote.
Ghost of Yeti, personally, like, again, it's a refinement. So I feel like it's again an improvement over the basic formula of the first game, but it's not like, I would give best game direction to Ghost of Tsushima for the vision of the formula. A refinement of the formula I don't think takes as much risk or boldness in the same way. I'm gonna say it again. Dispatch.
Hades 2.
Hades 2, that's probably fair. I mean, they do enough stuff, they shake it up. It's a similar thing, it's a refinement of the formula.
And Split Fiction.
Split Fiction, absolutely, I think that's fair. But I would toss I'd toss Dispatch in there.
And now it's the big one. Goaty.
Refinement or derivative? I think all refinements are by nature derivative, because it has to be a refinement of something else, right? So, yes. But that doesn't mean the game is bad. It's just, for me, it's like, it's the same reason why I don't like the idea of like Game of the Year going to a remake. Because I'm like, it's redoing something somebody else already did. Or maybe you did, but like, it's redoing something that was already great, and then you're reworking it into this way, you know? Like, it doesn't feel like that should win Game of the Year against other new stuff. Yeah, it's like double dipping. You know, yeah. For those who sweep after, that's funny. But that's the same reason why I feel like a game director award, when it's a sequel to something that was already lauded and awarded for being visionary, it's like, okay, well, it's just refinement. It's a polishing of that amazing thing somebody did 5-6 years ago, you know? It just feels weird to me. It's the same reason, to be consistent, I think it's fair to say that like best game direction for KCD 2, I don't think I'd give it to KCD 2 over like Expedition 33, because Expedition 33 was doing something completely new. So I wouldn't give like best game direction to KCD 2 over Expedition 33, because it's a refinement of the formula from the first game. Does that track? That make sense?
Game of the Year, recognizing a game that delivers.
Do I consider Spicy Nuggets a remake? More of a remaster, frankly. If it's like boneless versus bone in, then I think you could argue for remake, but yeah, more of a remaster.
Delivers the absolute best experience to players across all creative and technical fields. For this year's awards, our global TGA jury has selected the following 6 games as the nominees for Game of the Year.
Claire Obscure Expedition 33 from Sandfall Interactive.
Fair.
Death Stranding 2 On the Beach from Kojima Productions.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Bonanza from Nintendo.
Nintendo always shows up.
Hades 2 from Supergiant Games.
Okay.
Hollow Knight Silk Song from Team Cherry.
Fair.
And Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 from Warhorse Studios.
I was trying not to will it into the universe, but I was genuinely worried that they would drop KCD 2 off the list, because again, the people voting on this are like the jury members from like big journalistic outlets who They like certain types of games and they don't like other types of games. They like certain types of stories and studios and they don't like others. And so I thought if anything was going to get dropped off the list, it would be KCD 2. I did not think Hades 2 would land on the list. I think my initial prediction was that it was going to be Split Fiction there instead of Hades 2, but Hades 2 is very, very good. As for Dispatch being game of the year, that one has always been weird for me because I think there's a certain threshold of like gamification that's necessary to be considered for game of the year. Like if your game is very much a visual novel or an interactive novel kind of game, I think getting nominated for best narrative, for best role-playing, storytelling, whatever, that I think is fair. But best game of the year, I feel like there's a certain gameplay minimum that you need to hit to achieve that. And that's going to be up to the, individuals to decide if Dispatch meets that threshold. It's certainly like plays second fiddle to the phenomenal story and performances in that game. But I think honestly, all of these nominations, totally fair. They all make sense. Everybody should play all the games that are nominated for game of the year. They're all good. I'm just really glad that KCD 2 actually got the nomination because I was worried that they'd drop them.
There you have it, your nominees for Game of the
Euro
Year.
gamers
And now that those are
literally
official, you can
downstairs
anticipate
crying right
Lauren
now.
Bell from the Game Awards Orchestra playing their themes as part of our musical salute to the nominees live on December 11th. But before that, we need your help to decide which nominees become the winners. Make sure to head to thegameawards.com to cast your...
Once the website's working, go to the website and vote. Go to the website and vote. I think it's just been such a good year, which is, again, it's just, I know it's easy to go, robbed, but like, honestly, any one of these, it's like, yeah, they're all very good. Again, I did not realize Dispatch could be nominated. I didn't realize that Dispatch could be nominated. I thought it was past the cutoff. So I would have tossed Dispatch into a couple of these categories because it's so good. And I probably would have tossed in again Aaron Paul, and I think Laura Bailey was also fantastic as Investigal. But other than those, like Troy Baker, he makes it look easy, dude. He's just casually is perfectly imitating Harrison Ford from 45 years ago or whatever it is, and it's like totally believable. Like it's outrageous. He's just that good. He's just that good. Corey Barlog, the man, the myth, the legend, says Expedition 33 was just such a good game. So many great games in the last two categories, but Expedition 33 is just brilliant. Well, I forget who it was. Somebody in chat remind me, but there was a streamer, I think it was, who said that, Arc Raiders, phenomenal game. And it'll be talked about for like a year. But Expedition 33 is a game people will be talking about in 10 years or 20 years. That's a generationally great game. Was it Shroud? I think Shroud was saying the opposite. He was saying Arc Raiders should win it. Was it Shroud who was saying it? Oh, was it Asmongold? Forgive me, whoever said it. But I thought it was profoundly true. I think Expedition 33 is one of those generationally great games that people look back on in 10 years and are like, oh my God, that was so good. And Arc Raiders, I think, is a great game for this year and for this era of online games. But Expedition 33 is one of those games that's going to be designed off of, and people are going to be saying, that's my inspiration for this. And I think that's going to be a major inspiration for games like in the next 5 years. You know how we have a bunch of games that are kind of inspired by like Tarkov, all of these extraction shooters, because Tarkov's really good. And so people are like, oh, I want to do something like that. And they kind of take that idea and they do their own spin on it. I think that exact same thing is going to happen with Expedition 33. We're probably in like 5 years or so, you're going to see a bunch of indie and AA and even some AAA attempts at that formula. An immersive story-based RPG with turn-based combat, and it's got real-time combat elements too, and it has an overworld. I think a lot of games are going to start to try and attempt that formula, which I'm okay with because the formula clearly it's pretty damn good. So I'm not complaining, but I think that's the difference. Is it's one of those games that just changes things. Talk about impact. Like it's a game with a significant impact on the industry. The Witcher 3 comes out. You see tons of different games changing how they are designed to try and mimic what they achieved there in a very profound and good way. Like, of course, after The Witcher 3 came out, even Assassin's Creed, I remember hearing an interview with Ashraf Ismail, the game director of AC Origins, which was the game that they were doing to like really rework the entire formula for Assassin's Creed. And I think what happened, everybody saw The Witcher and was like, we want to want to try something like that. So they took that formula and they tried to do their own thing. And I remember hearing Ashraf say, we want every quest, every gameplay objective in the game to have a story associated with it. Everything should have a story. Could be small, but like if you're sent to go fetch five fur for a crafting task, we're not just going to send you to do that. It's not just going to be a pop-up. There will be a story associated with it. There will be a character who needs it or says why you need it, and there will be a story associated with that thing. And that was a direct inspiration from The Witcher 3's design philosophy. And I think a lot of those same things are going to happen with Expedition 33, where a lot of other publishers and studios are going to be like, let's try some of that stuff too, you know? And I think it deserves all of the praise and laudations it's receiving, because it is just genuinely that good. In the same vein, I do think Dispatch will have a similar impact. Dispatch showed that formula that was so popular 10 years ago still works. You just need a little modernizing. You need to crank up the production dials a few places, have some phenomenal voice acting talent, sure. But that works. That works. People like it. People love it. I just was reading, they hit their bull expectation. Well, let me just see if I can find it. Dispatch is set to hit its fantasy bull case, which is like optimistic, our best case scenario for sales. They hit their fantasy bull case 3-year sales target in 3 months. And players have gone gaga for its episodic release structure. It worked. And I'm somebody that I've said many times on stream, you guys have heard me, I'm not that into episodic stuff, but I'm realizing it wasn't because episodic stuff by its nature is bad. It's just that episodic fluff and stuff that's set up in an episodic way just to, like, you know, either extend the release calendar so you can crunch your employees to try and finish it in time, or, you know, all the other stuff that happened with Telltale where they were breaking up and selling it as multiple packages and seasons. I didn't like that. But this worked. Me and my wife, like, literally, we're scheduling out 2 weeks in advance our Wednesday and Thursday nights so that we could play Dispatch on those nights. And I can't even think of the last time that something like that happened for a video game release, where we were together that excited for it, you know? But it's because it's just that good. So I think Dispatch will also have a major impact. And I mean, they're working on other stuff. The partnership with Critical Role was done because apparently Ad Hoc Studio is going to be working on a game set within the Critical Role like universe, and they're going to be working on that together to put it out, which sounds awesome. And maybe those are the unsung heroes. Critical Role came in and like bankrolled the last push of development to finish the game. They deserve credit for that. Otherwise, we might not have ever seen Dispatch. They might have had to shop it around or something to publishers to try and shove it out the door quickly, and they would have had to sell it at $50 or $60 or something. But no, Critical Role came in, bankrolled it, did this partnership. It's awesome. So I think this will also have impact. But overall, to go back to this, besides Mobile Legends Bang Bang, which I'm sure it's also a very good game. I've not personally tried it, as far as I'm aware. But besides that, I think, honestly, the nominations all make sense. I think that the one thing that I was not aware of when we started this whole thing was that Dispatch was something that could be considered. And with that in mind, I would put Dispatch in for Best Narrative, and I'd put probably Aaron Paul and or Laura Bailey in for Best Performance somewhere, because they're very, very good. But other than that, I think all of these make sense. I think it's a pretty solid year in terms of what got nominated and how. And I'm just excited, man. I'm excited. It's been a fantastic year of gaming. Next year is also going to be really, really good. I've heard rumblings of some of the stuff that's coming next year that we haven't seen yet. Oh, baby. It's going to be a good year. So I think it's a good thing to have something like the Game Awards to celebrate a phenomenal year in gaming. And this year I did receive an invitation to go to the Game Awards in LA, I think it is. I politely declined. I plan on, unless something major changes, I plan on co-streaming all of that stuff here with you, which you'll remember I didn't get to do last year because I was actually in New York City trying KCD2 early. It was funny. On the day of the Game Awards last year, it was December 10th, and I had flown from Universal Studios, Florida, straight to New York City while my family flew back home. And I got to New York City. I stayed one night in the hotel. I went straight and walked to the venue where they were doing a game demo where they let us play KCD2 for 7 hours straight from the beginning, just play 7 hours. And then I grabbed my backpack and I headed to the airport straight from there and flew home. And on the flight, they revealed The Witcher 4 at the Game Awards because I was on the plane when it happened, which is just my luck. The 1 year I don't do a co-stream is when they reveal The Witcher 4. So it's just how it works. But this year we'll co-stream it, which probably means nothing will happen. But it's going to be good. Make sure you set your calendars because we'll watch it, check it out. It's going to be awesome. Okay. He took my thing.